Hi, this is crack everyone. It's Nathan here, aka the Rambling Kern and head instructor of Kern School of Combat. So this video is a bit of a review, but also some really interesting points brought up by the book that we're about to talk about. So anyone who is familiar with my channel will know that I have discussed the Wildeirish blog and website quite a bit. They have phenomenally good resources for Irish history, and especially for the 16th and 17th century periods, and probably some of the best you will find online. And this book comes from one of them. Now, not sponsored to them or sponsored by them. This book was bought by myself, and this is just me reviewing an honest review of a fantastic product. So the book in question is the Skean, the distinctive fighting knife of Gaelic Ireland, 1500 to 1700. This is the book here, and it is written by Robert Gresh. I will leave links in the description to this book. So the book itself is phenomenally good. It's probably the first readily available book on the Skean. Now, I know the Irish purists will be annoyed that it's not spelled with the Irish spelling, it's spelled with the English spelling. I totally understand why they did that. For most people who have interest in this, generally they're going to be foreign, and generally they'll spell Skean in the English way, which is S-K-E-A-N, not the Irish way, which is S-C-I-A-N. The book itself goes through the history of the Skean, the development of it, the surviving examples, the sheets, and also gives us some kind of typology to look at with them, as well as dividing them into short and long Skeans. And anyone who knows my channel knows that I'm a huge fan of these knives. They span quite a wide period in Ireland and have a really fascinating style and use. However, the book, I find, really points out a hugely glaring issue when it comes to reproductions. Now, when it comes to reproductions, there's very few readily available Skeans on the market, and I find that really a shame for two main reasons. One, they are very straightforward to make. The blades are very similar to other existing blades. The only real difference is the handle. And the few examples that are out there, the handles are generally wrong or are of a completely different type. So, to reference the book, this lovely and distinctive image on the back will show you exactly what I'm talking about. So almost every Skean that we will look at throughout history will have this distinctive sort of hourglass shape. I'll bring up some examples on the screen, but you will see with these that they have that distinctive hourglass shape of their handle. Now, there's one or two examples that kind of veer from this, but the majority of them do have that. Now, you would have seen my previous review of this, Todd Cutler's Irish Skean. I have reached out to them in the past, have not had a response. I know other people have done the same as to where they got the inspiration for this handle. The blade itself is absolutely spot on. The profile, the style, all of that is absolutely spot on for what a Skean should look like and what it should be. However, the handle, I have not seen an example like that. I don't know where the inspiration comes from. But if anyone knows, do let me know. But generally, this one of the best examples you'll find on the market. The sheath is pretty much in line with this surviving examples, however a little bit less ornate, but at the price point I totally understand. And the blade profile, like I say, is spot on. Now, this book shows some absolutely wonderful examples. Like I said, you have it divided up into short and long Skeans, and you have a good array of all the different types that are out there. It also goes into pictorial evidence and some surviving examples, as well as having really good in-depth both pictures of the items as well as artist renditions of them, so that you can see a more finished version of them. And these, for me, are some of the most valuable resources, because obviously if someone like myself is trying to get a reproduction of one of these blades made, it helps to have a book like this with, you know, artists' images of it, as well as dimensions and you know, rendition of what the final product should look like. So for me, I would love to get a proper reproduction Skean made, especially one of the longer ones, because those are incredibly rare to find, and like I said, not an especially complicated weapon to make. So what I'm talking about with those artist renditions, this wonderful example here of the Corbally Skean, I'll bring up an example of the actual blade itself, but absolutely superb. I mean, the book is almost, in my opinion, worth it just for these. But that is a blade I would absolutely love to have a reproduction made and be able to test it, because very unique in its you know, design and size, but very like typical of the Irish Skean. Now, like I said, in no way sponsored by the Robert, but really highly recommend that book. If you are interested in Irish weaponry, that is probably one of the most valuable resources currently out there. I really want to see more Skeans out there on the market. They are wonderful blade, you know, very simple design and shape, so it's a real shame that we don't see more. If anyone has any recommendations of any makers who would be able to produce something like that, please do let me know, because like I said, I would love to get a you know, my own version or reproduction of that Corbally Skean. So like I said, I will leave the link to the book in the description, as well as a link to the Wildeirish blog, which Robert is also involved in. I really do recommend you go and get it if you're a fan of Irish weaponry and Irish history. It is an amazing resource. Once again, I really do appreciate everyone for watching. The channel is coming on superbly, so big thank you. And a few really fun projects. If anyone's missed it, do go back and check out last week's video, which is the Irish shillelagh versus a skull analog. Video's doing superb, and it's a really interesting test. Probably one of the most scientifically accurate shillelagh tests that you'll find out there, so it's worth a watch. And of course, if you want to sponsor my work, you will find my Patreon in the description, and you can donate as much or as little as you like. And if you can't do any of those things, like and subscribe. It really does help us out. Thank you very much for watching. I really do appreciate your time, and slán.